Today, our fight for survival begins.
Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is my Extinction, Master Sentinel video walkthrough. This is the 19th mission called Checkmate. We have to save 30 civilians while killing vultures, Reveni, and completing the mission rather quickly. So this is quite an intensive one, but the good part about it means it's only going to be a certain amount of time. So when it begins, I immediately turn around and I grab that civ, and I'm going to be boosting this way and picking off this one as well. Whenever you need to kill vultures, you always want to go towards elevated positions because they seem to flock towards the higher places, and that might be something quite obvious because they are bird-like creatures, but a lot of the times they won't be there until you get to the place, and then they'll spawn in like that one did just there, those two. They always spawn in 2s or 3s. That was the counter, by the way. Did you see how he span at me and he hit me? That's what they do if you let them counter, so be careful. But that strange effect you just saw there, that kind of like emanating purple manifestation, that is essentially a wall, an invisible wall stopping you from going off the map. But you don't see it that often because you don't generally get too close to the boundary. But this woman's talking a lot in this mission. You can tell she's fucking back, can't you? Crazy. There's the wall run. Totally wanted to wall run video game. Thanks for that. Kill all my momentum, make me fall and look like a twat in front of me friends. Good game, great game, love this game. But yeah, once you buy that wall run, expect weird things to happen that you're not used to. And it's really interesting because all the angles you jump at the walls where you think you should wall run, he doesn't. And then the ones where you don't, he does. It's really baffling. Such an interesting mechanic, and I'm looking forward to learning to use it properly and putting it to good use, but as it stands, I just don't see a place for it. And I'm also really interested to see what the reviews say about this game, because I can't see this game scoring too highly, I just can't. And it's not because it's a bad game, it's just because it's such a specific game, you know? Like, there are games like that do one thing and they focus in super all the way on that one thing. And people love them, but they never generally get received very well. Look at that! What the fuck is going on? I love moments like that. What are you even supposed to do? The dude's hugging his body, the camera's up his ass, I'm trying to move and get away because I'm being attacked, and I can do neither, and then I'm trapped, and then I don't know if I'm damaged or if I am damaged, and then I'm okay afterwards. Very bizarre. Anyway, here's a couple of the vultures, so proceed to Rune Strike, and then hook them, Rune Strike, and then hook them. And this is wonderful when there's a bunch of them, because you can get rid of a ton. And it looks cool, right? There's a counter, you see it? He didn't go red, and he immediately tried to counter me. That's how you can tell. But I'm trying my best not to be too critical of Extinction, because I could really rip this game a new asshole. So much so that it'd die from septicemia, but I don't want to do that. Like, there's quality here, and there is fun to be had, and I think it's just easy to poke holes in this one, which is why it's perhaps not as interesting as a lot of the other games I normally critique. But the one thing that gets me above everything else, that I haven't mentioned, is that this game has like 4 enemies. Have you ever played a game that's got 4 enemies? That's this limited? That have almost nothing going for them? Because think about it, right? You have the giants. And admittedly, there are variations on the giants, but they're all kind of the same giant, right? They don't really change too much. They don't do that much different. None of them are massively archetypal shifts. They're just kind of the same thing. So you have the big giants, different colours, different armour, that's about it. Then you have green guys who die in 1 hit from the Rune Strike. You have deeper green guys that die in 2 hits from Rune Strike. You have red guys that die in 4 hits from the Rune Strike or whatever. And then you have the vultures. So you have 4 standard enemies and 1 boss type character. And that's it. And what do, right? Green guys do a jump attack and a slash. 2 attacks. Deeper green guys do a jump attack and a slash. 2 attacks. Red guys, I think they've got 3 slashes? And then the gargoyles spit at you and do that spinny move. That's it. That's literally it. There are bosses, like the Cleric Beast in Bloodborne, because let's bring a Souls game into this, guys. Let's bring a Souls-inspired game into this analysis, because they love to do that, don't they? Extinction has become the next Dark Souls. The Cleric Beast has more moves. The very first boss of the game, who is optional, don't even have to fight him, you might never see him if you don't play that way, has more moves in his repertoire than every single enemy and boss creature in this entire game. And to make it even worse, you know the standard Central Yharnam occupants, like the Scourge Beast, or like the werewolf people, you know, just the standard, away, away, fellas, who've been blood drunk and gone mad. They have a few moves. They have like 4 or 5 moves, maybe more. You know, they have the standard hit, they have a faster hit, they have a slower hit, they have like maybe a range hit. They've got more moves than a lot of the stuff in this game. And there's tons of them. There's tons of different enemies in those games. And it's really strange to me that, like, this game does one thing, and the one thing it does is still so very limited as well. Like, am I being overly harsh with that observation, guys, or is that to you as strange as it is to me? Oh, by the way, I do not want to be jumping here at all, but there's no button to press to not automatically bounce on shit. And that was really lucky that I saw those guys in there. That was a nice one. Because the crystals I find to be quite interesting in this game. They're portals that you use to essentially exodus people out of these war-torn areas. There's another successful wall run that I wanted. But a lot of the times when you come up to them, there's just one dude there. One dude at a crystal. It's so strange. You can come to some crystals that have 4 people, some crystals that have, you know, 5 or 6 people, but there's a lot that have 1. And I don't get that. Just one dude really wanted to leave, everybody else like, nah, I think we're going to be fine. Weird. It's a weird game, guys. Extinction's the weirdest game I've played all year, it must be said. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.